Welcome to One Math Army, everybody. My name is Muhammad Taqi and I'm your mathematics mentor at One Math Army. And today we are going to solve the previous IIT JEE questions and important questions related to the topic arithmetic progression from sequence and series chapter. First of all, before going to the lesson, I want to congratulate Charan Chitrala again for answering the correct answer in the homework question in the comments below. So congratulations, Sharon. I wish I can see you again in the next video, and I hope more people will come too. Now, this was the homework question I gave. N arithmetic means are inserted between x and 2y, and then they're inserted again between 2x and y. If their rth means in each case are equal, then find the ratio of x by y. Now this is the solution to my homework question. Now our first AP or our n AMs inserted in between them, x, a1, a2, a3 and so on, an, and then 2y. And our second one is 2x comma a1, a2, a3 and so on, an comma y. So that is our second AM. Now rth term in our first equation is, I am denoting that as ri because I took that first equation as I, which is r plus a plus r minus a plus r into b minus a by n plus 1, nothing but a plus r d, where d is b minus a by n plus 1. I am substituting the values and I get x plus r into 2y minus x by n plus 1. And similarly, the rth term in the second arithmetic progression is 2x plus r into minus 2x plus y by n minus 1. Now given that both of them are equal, the rth term in both of the AMs and APs are equal, so I'm equating them, and I'm equating x plus r into 2y minus x by n plus 1 equals to 2x plus r into y minus 2x by n plus 1, and I'm simplifying that, and finally we get some kind of relation like this: x into n plus 1 minus r into yr, and from that x by y is r by n minus r plus 1. I'm not I'm not explaining the full explanation as we don't have that much time. So let's go to the previous IIT JEE questions on sequences and series. Now this is our first question. I'll be giving 1 minute for each question to solve, and you can pause if you want more time. So, if the sum of the first m terms of an AP is equal to the sum of the first n terms, then option A, sum of the first 10 terms is 0 if m plus n equals to 10. Option B, sum of the first m plus n terms is 0. Option C, 2a plus m plus n minus 1 into d is 0. And your 1 minute starts now. One minute has passed, and I'm now going to show the solution for that, for the first question. And here it is given that the sum of the first m terms equals to sum of the first n terms. So I have equated them: m by 2 into 2a plus m minus 1 into d equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Now I have multiplied both sides with 2, and the 2 in the denominator get cancelled out in both sides, and I'm multiplying each term, and I'm simplifying that, and I get 2am plus m square d minus dm equals to 2an plus n square d minus dn. And 2a, I'm going to show how I got this. So 2a into m, so 2a into m is 2am, and if I multiply this m minus 1 into d, I'm going to get md minus d, and again md into m is m square d, and minus d into m is minus dm. Similarly we got this, and after that I'm taking all the right hand terms into the left hand side, and I'm taking common. So first I have taken common 2a and I got m minus 1. Next I took common positive d, and then I got m square minus n square. Then I took positive d common, then I got n minus m again equals to 0. And now if I take minus 1 common in this m minus n minus m, I will be left with m minus n. So I have to make this n minus m into m minus n to cancel out, right? So if we want to make that, I have to take minus 1 common from here, which will make that m minus n, and multiply that minus 1 with that d, which makes the d minus d. So 2a into m minus n plus d into m minus n into m plus n minus d into m minus n. So we have to remember that m square minus n square equals to m minus n plus m plus into m plus n, m minus n into m plus n. So from that, all the m minus n's get cancelled out, and I remain with 2a plus d into m plus n minus d. Again I am taking d into the RHS side, 2a equals to d minus d into m plus n, and I am taking d common again. So I have got d 2a equals to d into 1 minus m minus n. So that's our first piece of information. Now let's check the first option. What do we have? First option says that sum of the first 10 terms is 0 if m plus n equals to 10. So the condition for the sum of the first 10 terms is 5 into 2a plus 10 minus 1 into d, and we know that 2a is d into 1 minus m minus n. So I substituted that, and 10 minus 1 is 9, 9 into d is d, 9d, and 10 by 2 is 5. So I have simplified that, and I'm simplifying that even further more. So I'm just taking that 5 over here to the, I'm taking that to the RHS, dividing both sides by 5, okay, and then I'm simplifying inside the bracket, square bracket. So d into 1 d, d into minus m minus dm, d into minus n minus dn plus 9d equals to 0, and I have taken common d and divided both sides with d, and I'm left with 1 minus m minus n plus 9 equals to 0, and from that we get m plus n equals to 10. M plus n equals to 10. So if this equation satisfies, then the sum of m plus n is 10. So that's what is given in option A. So option A is correct. Now let's check if the other options come to. Option 2. What does option 2 say? Or B. Sum of the first m plus n terms is 0. Then the condition for the sum of the first m plus n terms is nothing but m plus n whole divided by 2 into 2a plus m minus 1 in m plus n minus 1 into d equals to 0. Now we know that the value of 2a is d into 1 minus m minus n plus d into mn d into m plus n minus 1 equals to 0. If we simplify that, I'm going to get d into 1 minus m minus n equals to minus d into m plus n minus 1 equals to 0. And from that, d cancel out, and I'm going to multiply this minus in here, and everything cancelled out, and I'm left with 1 equals to 1, means RHS equals to LHS, means this equation satisfies. If this satisfies, then this equation is satisfied. If this equation is satisfied, this equation is satisfied. If this equation is satisfied, this equation over here is satisfied, means that option B is true. Now obviously we got the answer as A, and none of this will not be an option. Now I'm taking this equation over here as I or 1, whatever you call that, and I'm going to divide this equation with m plus n on both sides. So this m plus n will go, and here we are left with 0 again. So 2a plus m plus n minus 1 into d is 0. That's what we have in option C. So option C is correct. Now let's go to the next question. Let a1, a2, a3 and so on be terms of an AP. If p not equals to q, then a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus and so on ap divided by a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus and so on aq equals to p square by q square. Then a6 divided by a21. Let me explain the question. The first term is a1, and a1, a2, a3 are the terms of an ap. So they are all in arithmetic progression. There are two numbers, and p and q are not equal. Then the sum of the terms up to the sum of the first pth terms divided by the sum of the q terms equals to p square by q square. Then the sixth term divided by 21st term is asked, and your 1 minute time starts now. You can pause the video for extra time. I will be giving an extra additional 20 seconds for this problem. It may take some time in simplifying and stuff. Now the time can be extended, but in the real exam no one can extend the time. You have a fixed time, and that too we don't know about the pattern changes. Advanced pattern changes every year, so we can't just prepare for one type of question paper. We have limited time. Okay, 1 minute 20 seconds ends now, and let's see how I did that. First I have took the sum of the first p terms, which is a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus a3 and so on ap equals to p by 2 into 2a1 plus p minus 1 into d. So that's our sum of the first p terms, and similarly this is the sum of our first q terms. It is given that if we divide sum of the first p terms divided by the sum of the first q terms, I will get p square by q square. That's what I wrote here. P square divided by q square equals to p by 2 into 2a plus pd minus d. I've just multiplied that bracket over here. I have multiplied each term in the bracket with d, and I got this, and 2 cancel out as they are both in the numerator and denominator, and the p from here and the p from p square get cancelled out. One p will go, and another p will remain. Similarly the q. So at last we got p by q equals to 2a plus pd minus d divided by 2a1 plus qd minus d. And if I cross multiply that, I am going to get 2a1p plus pqd minus pd equals to 2a1q plus pqd minus qd, and from there pqd and pqd get cancelled out, and if I take this 2a1q to the left hand side and take 2a common, I will be getting p minus q. So 2a into p minus q equals to d into, and if I take this pd, negative pd to the right hand side, I will get a positive pd, and take d common, I will get d into p minus q. So p minus q cancel from both sides, and I am going to get 2a1 equals to d. So the common difference in this ap is nothing but twice of the first term. Now we have to find the sixth term divided by the 21st term. Now let's find the sixth term first. The sixth term is nothing but a1 plus 6 minus 1 into d, which is 5d, a1 plus 5d, and we know that the value of d is 2a1. So 5 into 2a1 is 10a1, and 10a1 plus another a1 is 11a1. So the sixth term is 11a1. Similarly the 21st term will be 41a1, and if sixth term divided by the 21st term is 11a1 divided by 41a1, which is nothing but 11 by 41. Option C is correct. Option C. Yeah. Now let's go to the next question. This may be a little tough for those who didn't watch my previous videos, and feel free to watch my previous videos. The link is given in the description box below, and if you haven't checked out my previous 2 videos, check that out. And in the next session I'll be starting geometric progression, by the way. Now let's read this question. In an AP, the first term is 2. The sum of the first 5 terms is 1/4 of the next 5 terms. Show that 20th term is minus 112, and your 1 minute starts now. 20 seconds remain. So you have to prove that the 20th term is minus 112. You may get the same question as find the value of the 20th term, and it may ask you other terms too. So 1 minute has completed, and let's see how to solve that question. Now first we know that the value of a is 2, as it is given. The first term is 2, and the sum of the first 5 terms is 1/4 of the next 5 terms. So we know how to find the sum of the terms from the beginning, but we don't know how to find the sum of the terms from starting from middle of the NAP and somewhere. So first of all, let's write what we know. It's given that the sum of the first 5 terms equals to 1/4 of the next 5 terms. So the first 5 terms is 5/2 into 2 into a is 2, so 2 into 2 plus n minus 1, n is 5 minus 1 into d equals to 1/4 and 2. Now if I find the sum of the first 10 terms and remove the sum of the first 5 terms, then I will get the sum of the next 5 terms, right? So I just did that. So 10/2 into 2 into 2 plus 10 minus 1 into d plus, and this stuff again over here. Now I'm simplifying that. I'm just simplifying this, like 5 minus 1 equals to 4 and 2 into 2 is 4, and I get 5/2 into 4 plus 4d equals to 1/4 into, again I have simplified this again. Now this 2 and this 2 from both of these get cancelled out. Now 5 into 10 plus 2d equals to 1/4 into 20 plus 45d minus 10d, and from that I'm going to get 10 plus 10d equals to 1/4 into 10 plus 35d, and if I multiply both sides with 4, I will get 40 plus 40d equals to 10 plus 35d. And if I take this 35d over here, I'm going to get 5d equals to minus 30. I will take this minus 42 here, right? So d equals to minus 6. The common difference is negative 6. Now we just have to find the 20th term. Now the 20th term is a plus n minus 1 into d, and the value of a is 2, n is 20, and the value of d is minus 16. And if I simplify that, I'm going to get 2 into 2 minus 19 times 6, and 19 times 6 is 114. So 2 minus 114 is negative 112. So that's how I did my third question, and let's go to the fourth question. Now, how many terms of the AP minus 6, minus 11/2, minus 5 are needed to give the sum minus 25? And your 1 minute starts now. This is actually a very easy question. I'm giving only 45 seconds for that, and your time starts now. Only 45 seconds. If you want more time, you can just pause the video. Fifteen seconds remain. I'll be giving an extra 15 seconds for those who need it. Okay, time's up, and let's see how to solve this question. Now we know our arithmetic progression: minus 6, minus 11/2, and minus 5. Now let's observe the question here. We know that our first term is minus 6, right? And we know the common difference: third term minus the second term. Third term minus 5 minus of minus 11/2. 11/2 can be written as 5.5. So minus 5 plus 5.5 is nothing but 1/2, and similarly here. So assume this minus 6 as 12/2 and this as 10/2. So 12/2 minus 12/2 plus 1/2 is minus 11/2. Minus 11/2 plus 1/2 is minus 10/2, which is 5. So we know our common difference is plus 1/2. And we know that our sum should be 25. So now let's just go to our question over here. Now Sn equals to minus 25, and the sum of n terms, we are taking how many terms, we are denoting that number of terms, variable terms, as n. So Sn equals to 25 and minus 25 equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. And minus 25 equals to n by 2, we don't know the value of n, and but we know the value of a, which is minus 6, plus n minus 1 by, and the value of d is 1 by 2, so n minus 1 by 2. Now minus 25 equals to n by 2 into, I have just multiplied this from minus 12 into a, 2 by 2. I have just multiplied this by 2 by 2 to just add these two fractions. And if I simplify that, I get minus 25 equals to n by 2 into minus 24 plus n minus 1 by 2. And minus 24 minus 1 is 25. So n minus 25 by 2. N minus 25 and this n outside. Now multiply the denominators. I get by 4. And I'm just going to take that 4 to the left hand side. Nothing but multiplying the LHS with 4. I'm going to get minus 100 equals to n into n minus 25. Now if I expand this and take minus 100 to the RHS, I'm going to get a quadratic equation like n square minus 25n plus 100 equals to 0. Using the formula for the roots, minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac, I'm going to get the values of n as 5 comma 20. So if you take 5 terms or 20 terms, the sum is nothing but minus 25. Now let's go to our fifth question. Now this question does not deserve 1 minute to solve. It actually can be said by seeing the question, but still I'm going to give 30 seconds for this question, and your time starts now. Your time starts now. This is a plus over here. Sorry, this is a plus. A little mistake. This plus should be in the middle. So the question is a to the power of n plus b power n divided by a power n minus 1 plus b power n minus 1. Okay, 30 seconds passed and the answer should be 1. But I'm going to explain how I got that. Now, first we know the AM between A and B is A plus B by 2. And I'm going to explain how I got that. Now, we know that the AM between is given like A power n plus B power n divided by A power n minus 1 plus B power n minus 1. But we know that it is also equal to A plus B by 2. So I'm going to equate that, and first I'm going to equate the numerator. So A power n should be A, then the value should be 1. If the value of n is 1, then b power n is also b, so the numerator satisfies. Now let's check the denominator, substituting the value n as 1. So a power 1 minus 1 plus b power 1 minus 1 is nothing but 1 plus 1 is 2. So the value of n is 2. So let me show you how I got the value of the AM between a and b is a plus b by 2. So first of all, between a and b, the AM, not AMs, there is only one AM and it should be equidistant from both A and B. Look, if is the AM is not one of the AMs, it is the AM, it is only one AM. So the number of AMs between A and B is 1, and we are looking for that one. So R is the one, so we are going to find the first mean because there is only one mean. So R and N are both equal to 1, and applying the formula for the rth mean, A plus R into B minus A by N plus 1. A, our first term is A, plus R, the value of R is 1, and B minus A. B minus A are both the same because the last term is B and the first term is A, divided by 1 plus 1. A plus B minus A by 2. Now I am going to multiply A with 2 by 2. I am going to get 2A by 2 plus B minus A by 2, and the denominator stays as it is, and I multiply and I add the numerators. 2A plus B minus A by 2. I get B by B plus A by 2, which is nothing but A plus B by 2. So that's how I got the AM between A and B, and this is how I equated to the given thing in the question, and this is how I got the value of n, and the value of n is 1. Now let's go to the next question. This could be a little bit tricky. But a hint is this question has only one answer. This question has only one answer, and I will be giving 1 minute and 1.5 minute to solve this question, and your time starts now. I have given more than 1.5 minute time, and let's see how I solved this question. And in this question, let me read the question first. The difference between two consecutive interior angles of a polygon is 5. If the smallest angle is 120 degrees, then find the number of sides of the polygon. So our common difference is 5, and our first term in this AP is 120, and we have to find the sum number of the sides. So we know the value of A and D, and we have to find N. A, N, and D. So we have to find a relation. We need to have another equation. We need another equation to solve this, and that comes from geometry. We should know that the sum of all interior angles of a polygon with n sides will be equal to n minus 2 into 180. Number of sides minus 2 into 180 equals to the sum of the interior angles of a polygon with n sides. So sum of all the terms in this AP is equal to n minus 2 into 180, and we know that the sum of all these terms in this AP is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and I am going to equate that with 180 into n minus 2, and I'm going to just simplify that. So I know the value of A, which is 120, so 2 into 120 is 240, and the value of D is 5, equals to 180 into n minus 2. Now here I am multiplying both sides with 2 to eliminate this denominator over here. So n into 240 plus 5n minus 5 equals to 360 into n minus 2. Now if I'm going to multiply n with this whole bracket and 360 with this whole bracket and take them all to the left hand side, I'm going to get a quadratic equation, and the quadratic equation will be 5n square plus 235n minus 360n plus 720 equals to 0. And further simplifying that, I'm going to get 5n square minus 125n plus 720 equals to 0. Taking 5 common and dividing both sides with 5, I'm going to get n square minus 25n plus 144 equals to 0. And using the formula for finding the roots of a quadratic equation, minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac, I'm going to get the values of n as 9 and 16. But here I mentioned earlier that this question has only one answer, and for this you have to check both of them. If n equals to 16, then the last angle will be 120 plus 16 minus 16 into 1, 16 minus 1 into d, that is a plus n minus 1 into d, and where n is 16. Now 120 plus 15 5s are 120 plus 75 is 195. Now just think about it. Will a polygon even exist with an angle measuring 195? It will not. It will not be a closed figure then. An angle should not exceed 180 if it's in a polygon. So we are left with only one answer, which is 9. Now let's go to the next question. This is the 7th question. We have still 2 more questions after this. Now let TR be the rth term of an AP whose first term is A and the common difference is D. If for some positive integers m and n, where m and n are not equal to each other, then Tm equals to 1 by n and Tn is 1 by m respectively, then A minus D is equal to, and your 1 minute starts now. It's a simple question. You have to prepare each and every chapter in JEE. You go like sequences and series examples. This is an example. Sequences and series has a lot of questions and it has a lot of weightage in IIT JEE. So let's prepare only sequences and series. And you go to the exam hall and you find all the questions related to AP and GP, but you have other topics like geometry too, coordinate geometry too. So in the above question, we saw that it is a question from arithmetic progression, but it used mostly the concept of arithmetic progression, but the main part, the first equation, comes from the chapter geometry. So you have to prepare every chapter. It's not like that I'm going to prepare only this chapter, that chapter. Okay, let's see how I did this question. Now I'm taking the first equation as my mth term. My mth term is a plus m minus 1 into d, which is equal to 1 by n. I'm taking that as the first equation, and the second equation Tn equals to a plus n minus 1 into d, which is equal to 1 by m. So I'm subtracting 2 from equation 1, which I'm going to get Tm minus Tn equals to, I'm going to a cancel out, I'm going to take d common, then I will get m minus n minus whole of n minus 1 equals to 1 by n minus 1 by m. So from that, this minus 1 multiplied by minus will get a positive 1, and this is minus negative 1 and positive 1 will get cancelled out, and this will become a negative n, and m minus n, that's what we got, d into m minus n equals to, and if I simplify that, m minus n by, I will get m minus n by nm. So m minus n from here and m minus n from here will get cancelled out, and I remain with the d equals to 1 by mn. So let's take that as equation 3, and just substitute that equation 3 in equation 1, equation 3 in equation 1, then you will get the value of a as 1 by m also. Now I will give you a quick 30 seconds and just substitute the value of d in equation 1, and I'm sure you're going to get the value of a as 1 by mn. All these problems are easy and you should be able to do this. If you are not able to do this, you are lacking in some kind of theory or a topic. So just check out my previous 2 videos. The link is in the description below, and comment how many questions you are able to solve in every minute. Every question, I gave you 9 questions, right? I have 9 questions and we are in the 7th question, and comment in the section below how many of you were able to solve how many questions in the given time. Now after substituting that, you might have got the value of a equals to 1 by mn as expected, and the difference of a and d is nothing but a minus d equals to 0, because both of them are the same. 1 by mn minus 1 by mn is nothing but 0. So next, go to the 8th question. An employee gets rupees 300 per month in his 11th year of service and got rupees 495 per month in his 24th year of service. If his monthly salary is in AP and his initial salary and his increment are, his initial salary is nothing but the first salary on, or in this case the first term, and his increment is the increase in his salary every year, or nothing but increment, but nothing but the common difference. Your 1 minute starts now. One minute is over, and let's see how to solve this question. It's a very tiny one, trust me. Now, the salary in his 11th year is nothing but the 11th term, which is a plus 11 minus 1 into d, which is a plus 10d equals to 300. That's my first equation. And similarly, a plus 23d equals to 495 as given in the question. It's not given in the question directly, but it is given that his salary in the 24th year is 495. Nothing but his 24th term is 495 in this AP, which means a plus 23d is 495. That's my equation 2. And if I subtract equation 1 from 2, I will get 13d equals to 195. And dividing both sides with 13, I get the value of d as 15. Now just substitute the value of d in equation 1. You are going to get a plus 150 equals to 300, and a is 150. So that's our answer. His initial salary was 150, and his increment in his salary was 15 rupees per year. Now this is our last question, and this requires only 10 to 20 seconds, but I will be giving only 30 seconds for this question. And n AMs are inserted between n and 3n plus 2, then the 10th term is. Your time starts now. You should have got the answer by now. It's very easy question. Okay, your time stops now. Time's up. Now let's see how I did that question. So a plus rd, up to here it's all the formula, and the value of d is b minus a by n plus 1, right? So this is our formula over here, a plus r into b minus a by n plus 1, and we know the value of a is n, the value of r is 10, the value of b is 3n plus 2, the value of a is minus n, the value of a is n, and n is n, right? So n plus 10 into 3n plus 2 minus n divided by n plus 1, and if I simplify that, n plus 10 into 2n plus 2 divided by n plus 1. So if I take n plus 1 common from the numerator over here, I will get 2 into n plus 1, and the n plus 1 will cancel, so nothing but I'm left with n plus 10 into 2, which is n plus 20. So that was the easiest question, I think. Now this is our homework. This is the homework question. It is difficult. Let me just show the options. So these are the options. Homework: the sum of the first 100 terms of an arithmetic progression is minus 1, and if the sum of the even terms lying in the first 100 terms is 1, then which of the following statements is or are correct? Common difference of the arithmetic progression is minus 3 by 50. First term of the arithmetic progression is 149 by 50. 100th term of the arithmetic progression is 74 by 25. Now let me know the answer to this question in the comment section below. I'll be reading the first names of the first 5 students who answer correctly and fastest. So you can pause the video if you want to see the question a little longer. Now for now, bye bye One Math Army. I will meet you again obviously in the next class, and while discussing geometric progression. Now I'm going to end the session today. Now be sure to leave a comment below of how many of you have solved how many questions in the given time, and like, share, subscribe if you like the video, and share it with your friends to make this popular. And bye.